It's 6 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Excuse me, we're calling at the meeting to Trustee Lawrence?
Here.
Trustee Lawler?
Here.
Trustee Leaflet?
Here.
Trustee Healy?
Here.
Trustee Katsinas?
Here.
Trustee Milani?
Here.
Mayor Dodge?
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the February 16th, 2026 Committee of the Whole meeting.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Committee of the Whole of February 16th, 2026.
Second.
So motion is second. Any comments or questions? Call the roll, please.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Lawler?
Aye.
Trustee Lawrence?
Aye.
Trustee Leaflet?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Milani?
Aye.
Mayor Dodge?
Aye.
Any non-scheduled citizens and visitors for agenda-specific public comment? Seeing none, we'll proceed to the Orland Park Police Department's biannual award ceremony, badge pinning, and the swearing-in of recently certified police officers, commanders, lieutenants, and new sergeants.
The board has made this a priority for a long time to have a bit of a ceremony when we have these kind of events in terms of promotions or people joining the force. So we're happy to turn this over to the chief, and we'll get going. Well, I would tell everybody I barely recognize some of the guys in this room all in these uniforms. Just saying.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Mayor, Board of Trustees, just want to say thank you for letting us speak tonight and for some of these officers and the achievements that they are about to receive tonight. I want to thank family, friends for coming out tonight. We got a full house here. I always say that this department, it's like coaching the 1927 Yankees. These guys and gals are amazing, from our CSOs, dispatchers, all the way up to our command staff. So I just want to say thank you, and how about we give them a round of applause. So tonight we have 3 officers that we're swearing in, 3 sergeants, 2 lieutenants, a commander, and then you're also going to hear about some great achievements that these officers do on a daily basis. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the Chairman of Board of Fire Police Commissioner, Dave O'Connor.
Thank you, Chief, and Mr. Mayor, Ms. Norwell, all the trustees, good evening. By way of introduction, my name is Dave O'Connor. I chair the Fire and Police Commission, and I've done that for the last 26 years. We are a statutorily created body made up of 3 individuals. Our primary responsibility is to recruit police officers and new recruits, as well as do the hiring, promotion, termination, and discipline of the Orland Park police officers. There is no doubt that we have an extraordinary department in this community. Our community functions in large part based upon the extraordinary valor and professionalism that they exhibit on a daily basis. We are truly blessed to have a department of officers this committed and this professional at every single turn. Anytime that we bring in new officers and we swear them in, it's an extraordinary day because it's a new chapter in the life of the Orland Park Police Department. Likewise, it's always great to see some of our best officers rise through the ranks. And ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get to see both of those today. Without any further ado, I believe that we are prepared for our very first sergeant. Nicholas Iyer, please step forward.
Sergeant Nicholas Iyer began his career with the Orland Park Police Department in November of 2017. His commitment to investigative work led to his appointment to the Federal Bureau of Investigation as a task force officer in 2024. In December of 2025, Nicholas was promoted to the rank of sergeant, a testament to his leadership and dedication. He will be pinned by his wife, Maria.
Sergeant, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Nicholas Iyer, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois. I will enforce all laws of the state and ordinances of the Village of Orland Park. I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Police Sergeant for the Orland Park Police Department to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations, Sergeant Iyer. Nice job. Go ahead, sign off on that one. If Sean Walsh could please step forward.
Sergeant Sean Walsh began his career with the Orland Park Police Department in November of 2001. His commitment to investigative work led to his appointment to the Investigations Unit, the FBI Task Force, and School Resource Officer at Carl Sandburg High School in 2025. In January of 26, Sean was promoted to the rank of sergeant, and a testament to his leadership and dedication. He will be pinned by his mom, Teresa. Got the whole hockey team.
So, real quick, I just want to say one thing. So, Sean's dad was a sergeant here with the Orland Park Police Department, and to honor him, Sean has his badge number. So, how about a round of applause?
We'll make this official. Raise your right hand. I, Sean Walsh, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois. I will enforce all laws of the state and the ordinances of the Village of Orland Park. I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Police Sergeant Police Sergeant for the Orland Park Police Department to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations, Sergeant Walsh. Nice job. Well deserved. All right, thank you. If Henry Schoenfeld could please step forward.
Sergeant Henry Schoenfeld began his career with the Orland Park Police Department in November of 2000. His commitment to investigative work led to his appointment to the Targeted Response Unit and the Investigations Unit. In November of 2025, Henry was promoted to the rank of sergeant, a testament to his leadership and dedication. He will be pinned by his wife, Deanna, who is also a police officer.
Please raise your right hand. I, Henry Schoenfeld,
I, Henry Schoenfeld,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
I will enforce all laws of the state
I will enforce all laws in the state
and ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
and ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Office of Police Sergeant
of the Office of Police Sergeant
for the Orland Park Police Department
for the Orland Park Police Department
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Sergeant Schoenfeld.
Put the kids in there too. Special guests.
It's official. Congratulations.
You've been here about the same.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. If Carl Yaheen could please step forward.
Officer Kyle Yang joined the Orland Park Police Department November 11th of 2025, bringing valuable experience from his time with the San Diego, California Police Department. He is currently assigned to the Patrol Division on the afternoon shift, where he continues to serve with dedication and professionalism. He will be pinned by his wife, Maddie.
Please raise your right hand. I, Kyle Yaheen,
I, Kyle,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear to
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
I will enforce all laws of the state
Enforce all laws of the state,
and ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
I will faithfully discharge the duties
Faithfully discharge the duties
of the Office of Police Officer
of Officer of Police Officer
for the Orland Park Police Department
for the Orland Park Police Department
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Officer Hayden. Congratulations, Ken. Thank you very much. If we could have Joseph Izinski, please step forward.
Police Officer Joseph Izinski. Officer Izinski joined the Orland Park Police Department in February 11th of 2026, bringing valuable experience from his time at the Burbank Police Department. He is currently assigned to the Patrol Division on the day shift, where he is assigned to the Field Training Program. He will be pinned by his wife, Kayla.
Please raise your right hand. I, Joseph Izinski,
I, Joseph Izinski,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
I will enforce all laws of the state
I will enforce all laws in the state
and ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
and ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Office of Police Officer
of the Office of Police Officer
for Orland Park Police Department
for Orland Park Police Department
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Officer Izinski. It's official. Nice job. If Jordan Tomlinson could please step forward.
Officer Jordan Tomlinson joined the Orland Park Police Department on February 11th, 2026, bringing valuable experience from his time with the Burbank Police Department. He is currently assigned to the Patrol Division day shift, where he is assigned to the Field Training Program. He will be pinned by his son, Isaiah.
Raise your right hand. I, Jordan Tomlinson,
I, Jordan Tomlinson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
I will enforce all laws of the state
I will enforce all laws of the state
and ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
and ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Office of Police Officer
of the Office of Police Officer
for the Orland Park Police Department
for the Orland Park Police Department
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Officer Tomlinson.
I don't know. Ford. Ford. Go ahead next. Commander Jason Ford. Commander Ford began. Commander Ford began his career with the Orland Park Police Department in January of 1998. He was promoted to the rank of lieutenant in 2019. He was promoted to the rank of sergeant in 2011. He worked in the Targeted Response Unit, Investigations Unit before being promoted to sergeant. He will be pinned by his mother, Helen. Lieutenant David Stazek. Lieutenant David Stazek started his career with the Orland Park Police Department in November 2008. Lieutenant Stazek worked for the Targeted Response Unit and the Investigations Unit. He was promoted to the rank of sergeant in 2023. In 2025, David was promoted to lieutenant, a testament to his leadership and dedication. He will be pinned by his mother, Donna. Just a lot of reading. I'm always thinking of you. Ice, water. What else? What would you do without me? At this point, really. I was going to say that, though. I don't know what you do without me every day. I was going to show my sympathies to your poor mom. I was going to say that. Sorry, you have a great grace. Good. Do you take pictures? Do you want to? Yeah. I don't know if they got pictures. You want to read? You want to grab this first one? I think they want me to- Lieutenant Timothy O'Connell. Lieutenant Timothy O'Connell began his career with the Orland Park Police. All right, I gotta clap for it. All right, I'll try again. Lieutenant Timothy O'Connell began his career with the Orland Park Police Department in July of 2014. He was promoted to the rank of sergeant in October of 2022. In February of 2026, Timothy was promoted to the rank of lieutenant, a testament to his leadership and dedication. He will be pinned by his daughter, Nora. Shortest person we had, it's one. Okay, we're going to start our awards. You ready, Chief? Our first award is the Grand Cordon. The Grand Cordon Award is awarded to police officers and employees of the department for their dedication and determination in the arrest of a person responsible for numerous criminal acts throughout the area. First one is presented to Officer Patrick Gallagher. On August 28th, 2024, Officer Patrick Gallagher was dispatched to a retail establishment in response to a suspicious person. Upon arrival, he quickly located the suspects and initiated an interview. Through his thorough investigative efforts, Officer Gallagher determined that the individuals had committed multiple thefts from local retail businesses. He learned that the suspect would purchase products through the store with his credit card, would later dispute the purchase from the retail establishment, and the establishment would lose both the product and the financial gain. Officer Gallagher took the subject into custody upon towing his vehicle, asked for permission to search the vehicle, and located a loaded 9mm handgun. Officer Gallagher attempted to obtain felony charges for unlawful use of a weapon. Officer Gallagher continued to pursue justice for the victim in a series of search warrants from the Yahoo account. After several search warrants, through evidence gathered to charge the suspect with 2 counts of aggravated criminal identity theft. The suspect had committed numerous thefts throughout the Orland Park area. Officer Gallagher's dedication, keen investigative skills, commitment to justice exemplify the highest standard of law enforcement. In recognition of his outstanding efforts, he is hereby awarded the department's Grand Cordon Award.
We have another Grand Cordon Award. The Grand Cordon is awarded to police officers and employees of the department for their dedication and determination in the arrest of persons responsible for numerous criminal acts throughout the area, multiple incidents. This Grand Cordon is presented to Sergeant Casey Wall, Detective Dan Livingston, police officers Michael Rafferty, Jan Kristiniak, and Thomas Healy. From July 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, the Targeted Response Unit has conducted enforcement operations throughout the Village of Orland Park that has resulted in more than 43 felony arrests and 36 misdemeanor arrests. The Targeted Response Unit also recovered more than $34,000 worth of stolen merchandise. They have arrested numerous suspects for serious crimes, including aggravated unlawful use of a weapon by a felon, robbery, financial fraud, narcotic sales, and theft. They have conducted long-term investigations with our federal and county partners that have netted the arrest of a violent felon that had been selling narcotics and weapons. They have conducted numerous complex financial crimes investigations. They recently cleared a multi-state identity theft ring where the offenders had been linked to numerous identity thefts. These suspects were tracked to a nationwide identity theft group that had documented activity far from California. Sergeant Casey Wall, Detective Dan Livingston, Officer Rafferty, Officer Kristiniak, and Officer Healy's dedication, keen investigative skills, and commitment to justice exemplify the highest standards of law enforcement. These officers are an excellent example of teamwork and dedication to duty. In recognition of their outstanding efforts, they are hereby awarded the department's Grand Cordon.
Our next award is the Exceptional Service Award. The Exceptional Service Award is presented to officers and employees of the department for highly credible accomplishments bringing public acclaim to themselves, the department, or to the police profession as a result of training, devotion to duty, and service to the public. Presented to Investigator Miranda Nickel. On August, On August 13, 2025, Investigator Miranda Nickel was assigned follow-up on an investigation on a criminal sexual abuse case. The case involved 3 female victims who had been abused by a family member. A forensic interview, all 3 interviews provided Investigator Nichols with probable cause to arrest the suspect. The suspect in the case had ceased all communications with family members and was believed to be homeless. Attempts to locate the suspect were met with negative results. Investigator Nichols prepared to locate the subject through electronic means. Investigator Nichols learned that the subject's cellular telephone was last used in the Waukegan, Illinois area. The Waukegan Police Department was notified the suspect was recently in the area. A short time later, the Waukegan Police Department contacted the Orland Park Police Department with the suspect in custody. The suspect was taken into custody and was charged with 1 count of predatory criminal sexual assault, 2 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Investigator Nichols' dedication, keen investigative skills, and commitment to justice exemplify the highest standard of law enforcement. In recognition of her outstanding efforts, is hereby awarded the Department's Exceptional Service Award.
Life-Saving Award. The Life-Saving Medal is awarded for an act performed by officers or employees of the department whose prompt and alert actions resulted in the saving of a human life. This award is presented to Officer Mallory Janozik. On March 15th, 2025, Officer Mallory Janozik responded to a call of a subject who was not breathing. Officer Janozik arrived at the call and found the victim lying on his back and unresponsive. Officer Janozik began life-saving measures. She continued life-saving measures until the victim began to move his mouth and a pulse was obtained. A short time later, the fire department personnel took over emergency medical care. The victim was transported to Silver Cross for further treatment. The quick thinking and decisive actions of Officer Janozik were instrumental in saving a life. Her dedication to duty, composure under pressure, and commitment to public safety reflect the highest standards of the Orland Park Police Department. In recognition of her life-saving efforts, Officer Janozik is hereby awarded the Life-Saving Award.
Our next life-saving award is presented to Officer Cody Gestes and Michael Dabalski. On August 13, 2025, Officer Cody Gestes and Michael Dabalski responded to an ambulance assist at a local restaurant for a female subject who was in cardiac arrest. Officer Gestes immediately began life-saving measures until he was relieved by Officer Dabalski. The officers continued life-saving measures until the Orland Park Fire Protection District arrived on the scene and took over emergency medical care. The Orland Fire Protection District was able to stabilize the victim. She was transported to Northwestern Medical Palace Hospital for further treatment. Officer Gestes, Officer Dabalski's swift, decisive actions directly saved a life, exemplifying courage, professionalism, and dedication to duty. Their heroism reflects the highest standards of the Orland Park Police Department. In recognition for life-saving efforts, Officer Cody Gestes, Officer Michael Dabalski are hereby awarded the Life-Saving Award.
Civilian of the Year Award. The Officer and Civilian of the Year Award is presented to officers and employees of the department for highly credible accomplishment, bringing public acclaim to themselves the department, or to the police profession as a result of training, devotion to duty, or service to the public. The Civilian of the Year Award is presented to telecommunicator Donna Luna. For the past 7 years, Donna Luna has been a dedicated and loyal member of the Orland Park Police Department, serving with unwavering commitment and professionalism. Throughout her tenure, Donna has been an invaluable asset to the department. Currently serving as a telecommunicator, her steady voice, calm demeanor, and exceptional work ethic make her an outstanding dispatcher. Her ability to remain composed under extreme duress ensures critical communication flows seamlessly, contributing to the safety and efficiency of the department. Her positive attitude and unwavering commitment to service is a boost to morale. She is positive and supportive of her coworkers and is always a team player. Beyond her technical skills, Donna is known for her willingness to assist fellow shift members at every opportunity. Her dependability, teamwork, and dedication to the mission of the Orland Park Police Department exemplifies the highest standards of service. In recognition of her outstanding contributions and steadfast commitment, Donna Luna is hereby awarded the Civilian Employee of the Year.
No, just the only thing we need is the ceremony agenda, and then they're going to invite them out. Our final award is the Officer of the Year Award. The Officer of the Year and Civilian of the Year Award is presented to officers and employees of the department for highly credible accomplishments, bringing public acclaim to themselves, the department, or to the police profession as a result of training, devotion to duty, or service to the public. Police Officer Brian Prestia. For the past 17 years, Officer Brian Prestia has been a dedicated and hardworking member of the Orland Park Police Department, serving with an excellent work ethic and professionalism. Throughout his tenure, Officer Prestia has been an invaluable asset to the department. In law enforcement, a solid employee is characterized by a combination of high-level emotional intelligence and integrity. Officer Prestia has all those great traits. He demonstrates sound judgment, remains calm under pressure, makes logical, fair, and safe decisions in stressful environments. Officer Prestia has learned to de-escalate situations, build community trust, collaborate with his peers. He consistently shows up prepared, follows through on reports, and provides dependable backup for fellow officers. He approaches the job with genuine desire to help the community rather than just exercising authority. He is always willing to lend a hand and support his coworkers. Officer Prestia is always the first officer to clear a call and respond to a serious in-progress call. He is often referred to as a team player and willing to help new recruits as well as other veteran officers. He is willing to step up and take serious and complex incidents that require time and arduous work. Officer Brian Prestia's dedication and commitment to the residents of Orland Park exemplifies the highest standard of law enforcement. In recognition of his outstanding contribution, steadfast commitment, Officer Brian Prestia is hereby awarded Police Officer of the Year. Okay, that concludes our ceremony. Ryan, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman,
Miss,
I make a motion to recess.
second.
Aye. Do we need a motion or just call the roll? I think we just call the roll. We'll come back. Just call the roll, please. Here.
Trustee Lawrence? Here. Trustee Lawler?
Here.
Trustee Liebler? Here. Trustee Healy?
Here.
Trustee Katsinas?
Here.
Trustee Malani?
Here.
Mayor Dodge?
Here.
Okay, time is 6:58.
Chamber of Commerce, right?
Orland Park Chamber of Commerce monthly update.
Dan, don't get comfortable. Come on. We gave you a break. We gave you pizza.
I just complained to him about this.
I do want to thank you for the opportunity. Is this my parting gift?
Oh,
Should I? Yeah. I'll talk fast. But in all, I'll be serious about it and talk. I'd just like to, explain or talk about the Chamber of Commerce. What is the Chamber of Commerce? I'm going to ask each one of you to explain. I'm kidding. But good evening, Mayor Dodge, and also trustees and members of the village board. George, nice to see you. You've always been a supporter of the Chamber of Commerce. But on behalf of the Chamber, the Orland Park area, and we are the Orland Park Area Chamber of Commerce, so we'd like to make sure we're building with our fellow communities, such as just the same that you do up as a board. So I do want to thank you for the opportunity tonight on behalf of the Orland Park Chamber of Commerce, but most importantly, thank you for the partnership that we continue to strengthen together. I know that I'm, it sounds like I'm, I really do mean what I mean it. And over the last year, we have been intentional about rebuilding and reinforcing the relationship between the chamber and the village. That renewed collaboration, and that's what we really wanted, has made a real impact. When the chamber and the village are aligned, businesses feel supported, entrepreneurs, did I say that right? Entrepreneurs feel confident investing here, and our entire community benefits. And that really is what we need, is we need people to be comfortable investing in Orland Park. Now the village, and that's you, with the whole village, that provides the leadership, infrastructure, and long-term vision that creates stability. The chamber amplifies businesses, builds connections, and drives engagement. Together, those roles complement each other in powerful ways. We truly appreciate the board's accessibility, open communications, and willingness to collaborate. I have to say, it's been it's a breath of fresh air. You really are, Mr. Mayor Dodge.
Very kind.
It's a breath of fresh air. You've instilled a willingness to collaborate, and your support signals to the business community that Orland Park values growth, innovation, and partnership, and that the message matters. Now, this was on display during the Amazon hearings. I was here. And I know that you took a chance, and your vision will be rewarded. I'm confident of that. Now, another example of that collaboration is an upcoming Orland Women's Network ownership event on May 19th. Will you be there? March 19th? Did I say May? I did say May. Thank you for correcting me. March 19th. Hopefully, you can all be there, and you'll be there.
That's the plan.
Yes. At Gay Lake Park. Now, while it is a single luncheon, it represents something bigger, the importance of women in leadership here in our region and across the world. Women today are leading companies, launching businesses, serving on boards, and stepping into executive and public leadership at historic levels. I'll give just an overall broad example. Mary Barra, who does, she's leading GM through such turbulent times. Keisha Steelman, who recently was in the news and in Cranes, leading Ulta Cosmetics back to, they had a few rough years. She came in and did it. Now, somebody that you know locally, which we all respect her, is Priscilla Steinmetz. She does a great job over at the Bridge Teen Center. So it's just another example where we see diverse leadership, stronger performance, great innovation, and better decision-making when communities thrive, when leadership reflects the people they have. Diverse leadership. All right, it's good that we're coming out, and it's just the more that we reflect our community, the stronger we are. So here in Orland Park, we are fortunate to have women who are business owners, executives, nonprofit leaders, as I said with the Bridgestein Center, and public servants making meaningful contributions to our local economy. Elevating those voices strengthens our entire business community. Now, with that, we are grateful that this board has expressed its support and plans to attend where are we going to all be on March 19th? Going to be at Gaelic Park. There we go. Okay, so we're going to all be there, and that will help. Your presence is going to reinforce the strong partnership between the village and the chamber, and it's going to demonstrate a shared commitment to leadership, development, and economic vitality. I think we've already have over 100 100 registrations. So it's going to be a full house. It's going to be something that you're going to remember, almost as good as our installation. So that's I don't want to say I don't know. Well, that was our installation. I thought was very good, and it showed. And you had and a lot of you were there, and it showed a real commitment to getting along. So the chamber remains. Well, now one thing I did write in here. I'd like to extend an invitation to the broader community because we welcome local business and residents to attend. So hopefully we will have hopefully we'll hit 150. Now, the chamber remains committed to working alongside the village to attract businesses, retain talent, and position Orland Park as a premier place to live and work. Our collaboration is not just beneficial, it is essential. So Mayor Dodge and trustees, thank you again for your partnership and continued support of the business community. We look forward to continuing the momentum together, and I'll close it with them saying, buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but it's all going to be worth it. Now, do I have any questions? You want to know anything more about the Chamber of Commerce?
No.
Okay, I appreciate it. I do really appreciate the opportunity, and we look forward to seeing you all at the luncheon. Thank you.
Dan, thank you.
Yes, sir.
No, thank you.
Oh, okay. Thought maybe you had a question.
No.
Okay.
Well, we know where to find you. Thanks, Dan. Yeah,
I'll put it back right.
thank you. Next item, please.
Scope of services review, CPW, and Performing Arts Center feasibility studies for discussion only.
Just playground renovations.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had something else. 2026 playground renovations, purchase and installation.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Lawler.
I moved, recommend to the village board to approve the participation in a joint purchasing cooperative, Sourcewell pursuant to contract number 101-625-LSI, and authorize the approval and execution of a vendor contract with Landscape Structures Incorporated for the 2026 playground renovations. Purchase and installation based on Landscape Structure Incorporated proposal date February 19, 2026 for $600,791 plus $18,023.73 of contingency funds for a total not to exceed contract price of $618,817.73. Second.
All right, there's a motion, a second. Any comments or questions? Call the roll, please.
Trustee Lawler?
Aye.
Trustee Lawrence?
Aye.
Trustee Liebler? Aye. Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Mayor Dodge.
Aye.
2026 Road Improvement Construction Management Award.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
Move to recommend to the Village Board to approve and authorize the execution of a professional services agreement between the Village of Orland Park and HR Green Incorporated as the lowest qualified responsive solicited proposal for the 2026 Neighborhood Road Improvement Program and Rebuild Illinois Construction Management for a total not to exceed contract price of $280,000.
Second.
Motion and a second. Comments or questions? Call the roll, please.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Lawrence?
Aye.
Trustee Lawler?
Aye.
Trustee Leaflet?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Mayor Dodge.
Aye.
Scope of services review, athletic field strategic operating plan and feasibility study for discussion only.
George, how do we want to approach this? We've talked about this, and it's important, so.
I have a PowerPoint. Good evening, Mayor and board members. Happy to present this feasibility study. This is, tonight I'll present 2 more feasibility studies out of the total of 4 that we're looking at this year. This first one here is for our athletic fields. It also takes a look at our current fields and potentially turning those towards turf. And it also looks at, repurposing the grinding edge skate park and the bulk storage site over next to it in Centennial Park. So the purpose of the study is similar to the others, to establish long-term data-driven vision for the village's athletic fields. This will help us in the management and maintenance of the facilities, the programming, the scheduling, revenue generation, and long-term sustainability. This is all to support the growth of our recreation users, our competitive users. Our fields are very heavily used, and so we want to make sure we are doing our very best to provide excellent services and fields for our users. This also will evaluate the competitive position of our fields as compared to other fields that are nearby. We know there's a lot of developments not far from this area. The overview of the study is to take a look at converting infields to artificial turf, and is there an advantage to doing that? It'll evaluate the market dynamics, again, the competitive positioning, and whether it's justified to do that. Again, it'll take a look at the skate park and the bulk storage site, and is that a good venue to develop into another athletics complex? A big part of this, similar to all our studies, will be robust engagement with the community. We want to make sure that's inclusive and transparent. We serve the residents of Orland Park and want to make sure we engage the residents and hear from all users as a part of this. And as a part of this, we'll inform the engagement will help us determine the projections. It'll help guide the priorities, the design, whatever we do in any of these 3 areas. And implement the trade-offs or understand the trade-offs for any changes we make in any renovations. The engagement objectives, again, are current, to validate the current and projected demand of the fields, to understand the community priorities. Again, we serve the residents, and that's the number one thing, is to understand that. To gather input on a potential turf complex where the skate park is and bulk storage site. Engagement also should build public awareness, trust, and support. We've seen on occasion that we haven't done a good job at that, and then we have a disconnect with our residents. We want to make sure that engagement involves all residents, including unrepresented populations and diverse user groups. Engagement methods you can see listed here will be multi-channel engagement program, community-wide surveys, stakeholder interviews, focus groups and workshops, public meetings, open houses, pop-up outreach at the parks, website engagement, and clear communication materials that help explain turf, the cost, the benefits, trade-offs, and alternatives. We want to make sure our residents are well informed. Equity and accessibility, so the engagement will serve or will reach out to cross-section of diverse parts of the community. It'll be accessible and jargon-free and culturally responsive. Meeting formats will be so that they fit working families, youth, and adults, so that anybody can participate in this, so that we're fully engaging our residents. It'll go through the project phases, so you'll see here that there's some different phases that go with this project, and the engagement will be embedded again through all the phases of the project. Phase one will be the existing conditions and market analysis, so that'll take a look at our athletic fields. It'll evaluate the current usage of the fields, scheduling maintenance, safety protocols, our operational challenges. It'll compare our rates to other like communities and fields. It'll also involve the community engagement plan that I reviewed. Phase two is the strategic vision and program development. Here we will define the long-term vision and goals for the fields, develop programming strategies, benchmark our fields with best practices. The study should recommend to us operational and staffing improvements so that we can do our fields at the best practices that are possible for our residents. And that'll include year-round maintenance and turf management. We'll gather feedback as it relates to recreation use, competitive play, tournaments, and open use drop-in. The turf conversion, we'll look at the feasibility, the cost, the benefits, and the impacts of converting our fields to artificial turf is something that is viable for us. It'll look at a phase conversion scenario and the itemized costs for the fields. It'll look at the site-specific conditions, and it'll take a look at, is turf more beneficial than grass surfaces? As a part of this, it'll gauge community comfort with artificial turf and a willingness to support the investment in using artificial turf. Phase four will look at repurposing the spaces, so that looks at a strategic alignment of reusing the skate park and the bulk storage site into a multi-use artificial turf athletic facility. So we could envision a potential baseball, soccer type of complex out there, depending how it's configured. It'll look at the market demand for, with our user groups, programming opportunities, as it serves youth and adults, tournaments, training, and open use. And as a part of this, it'll look at the scale and the intensity of the development and its impact to the community. In phase four, as it looks at the repurposing, it'll also look at the physical operation of land use, the capacity, the access, parking, utilities, so everything that relates to it. Neighbor engagement in the broader community, how it affects those who live close by, and test concepts for the multi-use turf facilities. In phase five, we'll look at the economic impact and financial planning. We'll look at the ROI on this, the payback periods, revenue projections, the potential regional impact. We know that we have tournaments and large baseball coming to town that people shop and use our stores and our retail. What is the competitive positioning of improving these fields and introducing these new renovations? What are funding strategies, sponsorship opportunities, partnerships? How do we validate this with community tolerance for the fee structures that might be introduced, tournament activity, sponsorships, and partnerships? As a part of this, we'll look at assessing the public perspective on reinvestment priorities and the cost recovery of the goals. The interim deliverables are all listed here in the 5 phases. Again, community engagement will be a big part of that. The field inventory, the strategic vision, the turf conversion, high-level capital costs, all the cost estimates, the staffing, financial models, and the final comprehensive report that we'll present to the board. These would be the final deliverables, so the comprehensive plan, the feasibility study, the economic impact and the ROI analysis, the roadmap and the timeline and the cost estimates, data-driven recommendations that help us make good decisions as we move into potential changes to these fields, the community engagement so that we feel confident that the community supports these projects, and then a final presentation to the board. All of this was presented to both the Facilities and Grounds Advisory Board and the Sports Advisory Board in February. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. At this point, we wanted to get some input from the board on the scope to see if there was any areas of the scope that you would like to see changed.
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee Healy?
There's a couple references to repurposing the skate park in there. Are we basically redoing the skate park or skate park?
It really depends on the results of the feasibility study. So the skate park is underutilized. So it's a terrific skate park. It was in its heyday. It did very well, but it's very underutilized right now. So we're looking at repurposing that.
Okay, thanks, Ray.
Any other comments or questions?
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee Lawrence?
So Ray, have we identified qualified analyst organizations? This looks to me to be a very complex analysis.
Yeah, I think we have, yeah. So there are vendors all across the country that do these kinds of things. So we have a vendor list that we are going to reach out to ask them to do a proposal for us, yes.
And are we aware of any of our neighboring municipalities that have done something like this?
I think so. I think New Lenox and Tinley Park have done that, yeah, because they both have big complexes. One in New Lenox is done and Tinley's in the works.
And do we know anything about those analyses? Were they shared with us?
No, they weren't shared with us, but they both are in progress. And New Lenox is doing quite well, and then Tinley's quite a ways away, though. We can definitely reach out to them to see who they use, though.
But it would just be interesting to find the assumptions and the parameters, how far out they went for, influence of neighboring communities, what they had, that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
I think that this is going to be part of it, but there are a couple fields that, soccer fields that tend to flood like pretty regularly. These are, as we do this study, this is in anticipation of kind of, resurfacing them or regrading so that we don't have this issue, or adjusting drainage, or, what kind of things would be done to address that?
The studies are three parts. So the first part is best practices in maintaining the fields. The second part is the potential of changing them to artificial turf. And you're spot on, especially when it comes to soccer, because soccer plays in any kind of weather except for lightning. So if the fields are wet at all and you have 4 games, 4 practices, the goal mouths are already ruined for the rest of the season. We've seen at Chusler Park, heavy use at that park with the artificial turf, and we can play and play and play. So this would look at potentially turning our soccer fields to artificial turf. So, because no matter how much grading we do, it only takes a few bad weather days and then play on those weather days, and then we're waiting until next season again.
Mr. Mayor? So if people are wondering why we're doing this, Ray, I'm assuming we've done this in the past, but as I mentioned in the last meeting, a study I recently read about was 39% of kids play sports. And another interesting thing was, I think it was the average cost per sport that a parent spends now is about $1,000 for each sport their child plays in. So it's become a big business. And obviously we saw that Orland Park, for the longest time, we've had this great complex over at Centennial Park. And with all the soccer fields, and a lot of tournaments come here, and in turn, they use our restaurants and everything you said. Obviously, it's become such big business. You see these facilities being built all around the place, such as New Lenox, which I believe is spent $70 million for their indoor-outdoor facility, which means they're trying to capture more of that business. They're putting up hotels and restaurants around it as well. So I think it's important that we do this because obviously we want to continue to attract young families to Orland Park, so they want to see that we have great athletic facilities and parks. And also, we want to continue to attract, our tournaments, people coming to Orland Park, so they come in and use our restaurants and our hotels. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what the results of the study will be, just to say, what do we need to do in order to stay competitive? So, I read through it. It looks like we're covering pretty much everything that needs to be talked about. So, I look forward to it.
Any other comments or questions? Ray, just 2 quick comments, right? So this is, I think I'm quoting Trustee Lawler correctly. The question before the village is quality and quantity of our fields. And a lot of this is going to address, I think, the inherent quality, but I also want to make sure that we're mindful as a board about the quantity of fields. Now, you can make a pretty strong case that New Lenox stole the march on the village because some opportunities previously were missed to do public-private partnerships that could have fundamentally changed the tournament business that Orland Park is in. But our current situation with what's eminent in Tinley Park and what's already out in New Lenox, our context is, what should we target? What should we do? How do we want to focus this? So I just want to make sure that that bigger picture question, that nuance, is really communicated well to the consultant that you picked to do this. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, I like the idea of how we're going to go get citizen feedback, but I also want the advisory firm to make sure that open mic is available to people that they may not be selected in a formal study, but let's just make sure that we have a channel of communication from our residents to say, I think you should do X or I think you should do Y.
Absolutely.
And then I guess the third comment would be, let's just, us collectively think through, what do you want to do in a big regional park like Humphrey or Centennial? What do you want to do in a neighborhood park? And establish a more forceful policy about do this here, don't do this there, kind of thing, so staff has direction when you're starting to plan out new parks. So that may or may not be formally part of what you're going to get back from your consultant, but I just want to make sure you guys in rec know that that's a directive.
Okay, thank you.
All right, this is just a discussion item, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any other comments, questions on this, or next item? Next item, please.
Scope of services review, East Field House, Senior Activity Center, and Family Play Destination Feasibility Study for discussion only.
So again, this is the fourth feasibility study that we're looking at this early or late winter period. So this looks at the former Riviera Country Club site and determines whether that site is a viable site to turn into a field house, senior citizen activity area, and family play destination. That site potentially could be a year-round, multi-generational indoor field house, athletic facility with senior-centric activity, drop-in space, potentially senior sneakers, fitness equipment, and a family play area, which we'll see as we go through this, has some elements that could be very attractive to our families. This study, like the others, will have data-driven evaluation to help us make good decisions. We're asking the consultant to look to make sure, as they make recommendation, that it's in complement to our existing parks and programs, so it's not duplicating services. And that again, community engagement is thorough and robust as we potentially build this for our residents' benefit. Objectives include the market demand, so again, engaging residents, evaluating the physical, structural suitability and integrity of the facility, assessing the environmental conditions and what remediation may take place, identifying the programming in the space. Is it feasible to incorporate a multi-purpose indoor turf at this site? We feel as a department and hearing from our residents that there is a need for indoor turf space. We have the sportsplex, and the soccer field there is terrific, but it is small, and it's only one soccer field. And so we have hear from our residents and our resident organizations, there's a lot of demand for an indoor field house. As a part of this, we'll evaluate the feasibility and optimal configuration, so the size of the space, the ceiling heights, everything that would be conducive to an indoor field house. We'll look at the programming again for athletics, for seniors. There's that silver sneakers piece of that, and supporting that, we've heard from our residents before, they're very interested in silver sneakers, and can we make that viable in this site? We want to look at family-oriented amenities, why we have a lot of recreation amenities. This gives us the opportunity to introduce new amenities, which could be a museum, could be an indoor playground, could be a hybrid of both. In talking with our resident organizations, they have an interest in space for cheer, for tumbling, for wrestling, speed and agility training. So it could be an all-in-one center that serves a lot of our athletic organizations as well as seniors and families. And again, this would enhance our current facilities versus duplicating services. Additional objectives are to estimate the costs of renovation or demolition and new construction, analyzing operational models, staffing, scheduling, revenue potential, long-term sustainability, and what kind of subsidy requirement might be needed to support this facility. It'll help us look at pricing strategies for the facility. It could be membership-based, drop-in based, and provide us with clear recommendations so we can make good decisions in support of our residents. Again, community engagement is summarized here. We see this as a key piece in all of the feasibility studies, and we work hard with our consultant to make sure we explore multiple channels to engage residents, whether it's surveys, whether it's in person, as you mentioned, Mayor, in all different ways, so not just at the microphone, but hitting our residents in every place that we give them an opportunity to let their voice be heard. This is more key points of the community engagement, so families, seniors, current users, So we'll see a lot of engagement taking place as the study unfolds. The scope of services will include a market and community needs assessment. So is this really needed? We think it is, but the feasibility, that's why we do feasibility studies to tell us if that need is valid. It'll evaluate the competitive and complementary facilities in the region, so we don't duplicate and build something that is going to sit empty, but actually is robustly used. It'll identify target users and program priorities. It'll contain a facility assessment and redevelopment alternatives, which will include evaluating the existing conditions of the facility, the feasibility of renovation versus demolition, code compliance. It'll provide high-level conceptual layouts and identify the building constraints with the footprint that we have to work with. The scope of services will look at the environmental conditions that you can see listed here. We know that site has been unoccupied and is pretty rough on the inside, so it'll take a look at that. It'll include programming and space planning, so detailed concepts for multi-generational use, listing all the different things that you see there that I had mentioned previously, so the athletic component, the family component, the senior component. The indoor spaces that we're potentially looking and amenities we're looking at to potentially introduce and that we're asking the consultant to look at is the indoor turf fields, potentially indoor pickleball courts, maybe indoor basketball courts that are convertible space, so not a permanent space, but can potentially be changed over for multiple uses. Batting cages, golf cages, baseball, softball simulation. That's part of that training where you can do that indoor training. There's the cheer and the tumbling component and the speed and agility. We see in other communities that they have centers like this and they're very heavily used. They fill a different component than like a sportsplex, or a sportsplex is recreation, that's athletics. This is more of the training component. So this is something we don't currently serve our residents and organizations with in Orland Park. The scope of services, the family component is the indoor playground, the children's museum and the hybrid concept. It'll include potential flexibility in the programming so we can make sure that space is thoroughly used for parties and other rentals. It'll consider spectator areas and concessions. It'll look at the fitness and active aging for our seniors, again, potentially the silver sneakers. Operational uses could include league play, skills training, the rentals, and drop-in use. Programming and space tasks, the consultant will be asked to prepare layouts for the programming components, identifying the space requirements, again, not duplicating other services, and then the sizing of everything that I had mentioned, so duplicated here. It'll look at the financial and economic analysis, so cost estimates, pro forma, the revenue potential by operational segment. So, how does each part of the potential facility generate revenue? What are those costs and the staffing needs? And then again, the subsidy requirements. It'll evaluate the funding strategies, partnerships and grants, the 5-year revenue and expense projections, staffing models and analysis and participation, cost escalation, and revenue risk of building the facility out. Additional scope of services, the pricing and membership analysis. So it'll provide benchmark comparables, membership types and models, an evaluation of third-party senior, which we mentioned, the silver sneakers, assessing the revenue, the bundled memberships or passes, and integrating community input, again, the community engagement. Operational management models, so village-operated, public-private, or third-party operated. It'll take a look at the staffing and maintenance, the scheduling. It'll assess the risk of the facility and the long-term sustainability. It'll take a look at the phased implementation, regulatory and permitting and approval processes, the project delivery, realistic implementation timeline, so from the time that this project potentially would be approved, and then the design of the project until it potentially opens. And again, this would include ongoing community engagement. Deliverables are listed here, so it would be the community engagement deliverables, facility assessment and site analysis. In the site analysis, it's just to point out that it would also include the site capacity considerations to make sure the parking is doable at that space, the traffic circulation would work, and that that site and those areas could handle the peak demands of the new venue. Other deliverables, conceptual planning, program fit, again, these were mentioned previously, the financial analysts and all the deliverables that go with that financial analyst or analysts. The staffing models and operation models, the phasing implementation, which has phase 1, 2, and 3. It would also look at the technology in the facility, so the different programmatic parts of the technology, how that affects the ceiling, the acoustics, the other infrastructure, the order of magnitude and costs. Again, the staffing and operating in the booking systems. Other deliverables would be the final reporting and presentation, so final report with clear recommendations and next steps. An executive summary, presentation materials that we can use for the board, for our residents, for our stakeholders, and then clear data supported recommendations so that we can make a confident decision moving forward. These two were presented to the athletic groups, both the Facilities and Grounds Committee and the Sports Advisory Committee earlier in February.
Any comments or questions from the board?
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee Lawler?
Yeah, Ray, again, I read through this whole study. It looks good. If people are wondering, why do we need this? Well, one, I would just say that the old Riviera Country Club is becoming a blighted eyesore on the east side of town. But I've also heard from a lot of people who have different opinions on this, and I had a chance to sit with some of the commissions and talk to them about it. If you talk to the sports people, they want a sports training facility because they always have to leave Orland Park in order to go take their kid to get trained somewhere. So they said it would be nice to have that in this town. I've talked to a lot of older people that have been part of Orland Park for a long time. They really wish they had a pool back on the east side, something a little bit quieter. And then obviously I've talked to young families who really want an indoor playground for their kids, the little kids, during the winter months. So it'll be interesting to see how we put all these together to see, how are we going to use this building, or what are we going to do with it? Or as it ties into some of the other facilities, maybe we can start doing certain things at one facility, make them dedicated while others are, at other facilities. I will say that people on the southwest side of Orland Park might be like, oh, you don't really need this, but I did want to see, the drive time, for the people who live on the northeast side of Orland Park. So a week and a half ago, I drove from about 135th and 80th Avenue, which is still Orland Park, and I drove all the way out to Sportsplex to see how long it would take. And I did it kind of during rush hour traffic in the evening, and it took well over 20 minutes. So I can understand why some of these parents don't utilize Sportsplex, and why I've heard some of the younger families, well, I wish we had a gym where our kids could go play basketball, during the winter and not have to drive them 20, 25 minutes over to Sportsplex and then wait for them, an hour later have to go back. So I guess it'll be important to look at this study to see, can a town of Orland Park, which is about 60,000 residents as we grow, can we support 2 Sportsplexes, and hopefully we can, so.
Any other
Mr.
comments?
Chairman?
Trustee Malani?
I haven't been a fan of, going after this property and, possibly developing this into anything, let alone a sports facility. But, this study gives you the opportunity to change my mind, right? I think there's good thought going into this. I feel a little bit of we're trying to do something for everyone in the scope. We only have so much room over there. Right, so we're going to have to think about what this scope is going to be. Is it going to be sports? Is it going to be recreation? Is it going to be a little bit of arts? It seemed like there was we can't do pickleball, baseball, football, wrestling, track, and
Splash pads.
tennis, and a splash pad and a pool. There's just no room for all of that, right? So we have to think about and that's why the resident input is going to be so key. Definitely want to stress everybody is going to come out of the woodworks when they hear a sports facility and want to use it. So we need to focus on how we can leverage that for these public-private partnerships, right? You know, I mean, OAA is going to want a piece of this, you know, the Pioneers are probably going to come around asking for something too, even though they just got a park right next door. You know, so it's like we want to make sure that we can capitalize on those. And if there's any sponsorships, grants, anything we can do to fund this where it's not going to, you know, affect the taxpayers, you know, again, change my mind. Right? So, you know, those are my thoughts.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas?
I just had a question. That whole building also includes the restaurant under the same roof, does it not?
It does.
Okay, so is the study going to look at that restaurant portion? Because I know George from OPA, George is here, and I'm sure that's a question that you have. How does OPA play into that? Maybe that's a better question for George.
Which George?
George Kazwara?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's George too.
Yeah, no, George, our village manager, to help explain, you know, I've had people that have said, well, I don't know, is OPA open if you're buying it? And I don't have a good answer for them, and I'm sure that's important to the business owner as well.
Yeah, and village staff met with George and his broker a few weeks ago. Is that better? So we met with them a few weeks ago, and obviously, as Ray pointed out, this is not something that's going to happen overnight. This is a very long process. We want to get all of the engagement, and the rent revenue that we will be generating as part of the restaurant for the next couple years is going to help with this. What happens in the future? The feasibility study will tell us. So the restaurant could be an element of this going forward. We just don't know at this point. But as far as offsetting costs, it's we're looking forward to getting those revenues.
Well, if the study can make a recommendation for the restaurant or not the restaurant.
Yes, that's part of it, about, you know, if it's a very active facility, having a food vendor there could be very beneficial, right? If you go to, like there's an ice rink, for example, in Geneva, they have a very, very successful restaurant there. So all of that kind of goes into the mix.
Thank you.
Any other comment? Trustee Healy?
Yeah, George, you said it might take a long time. I was gonna ask, how long do you think this study would take? I mean,
The timeline that we're putting in the study is 5 months from the notice to proceed. So, you know, once we work through the contract, we're giving them 5 months to do the work with a drop dead or end date no later than December 31st. So it is going to probably take the bulk of 2026 to get this done.
okay, well, thanks, Ray.
Any other comments? Ray, thank you. Same conditions apply as I mentioned on the first one in terms of customer feedback. The other thing that, you know, I want to make sure that it's in the public record, not everything that we talked about as possible will be delivered, right? That's the point of this exercise, is to make sure that we kind of think this one through. And one of the, you didn't say it explicitly, but I'll kind of mention it to you. I'd like the consultant to come back with a pretty crisp, I'll call it a decision matrix. What are they proposing? Who benefits? How much? And when? Right, because, you know, as John said, and as Trustee Milani said, everybody's going to come out of the woodwork with their favorite use case. The things that I routinely hear the most, not necessarily an exhaustive list, are an indoor playground, but it was recently up in some other towns, and they've got some pretty cool things that they do for kids, where it's along the lines of a kids museum, indoor playground, could be both, don't know. The silver sneakers, obviously that's a pretty popular idea, but that has a pretty significant financial impact on the village. And then obviously the practice area. So let's see what comes out of the mix. I just want to make sure that the consultant understands the intent of the project is for them to go leave no pebble unturned in terms of finding us input and data, so that this board can then debate how much do we want to spend on it and when do we want to spend it and what are we doing for which groups, because everybody's got an interesting set of compelling needs. So I just want to make sure you factor that in.
Okay, got it.
All right, next item.
Public Works Salt Storage Update. Discussion only.
Joel, is salt important?
In the winter it is.
Okay, just checking.
Mayor, Board of Trustees, I just want to give you a quick update on the project. So as just background again, we broke the project into two phases, one in 26 and then FY 27 and 28. Kind of the scope of work is in the next paragraph. But when we did the breakup, obviously we did that because we had MFT funds that were going to be paying for the phase one portion. And part of that, we had to work with IDOT. Their manual, Chapter 9, gives us specific rules that we have to follow. And two key rules were that prime contractor must be IDOT qualified or pre-qualified, and then the prime contractor must self-perform 51% of the work. So since our last update, we actually bid it out twice. In the board item, you'll see it on the consent agenda. We're rejecting the last bid because we got no bids. We need that documentation for IDOT. So that's why it's on the agenda. But we also got the previous one back in December when we got no bids. So we're trying to figure out why we're not getting any bids. Obviously, the pre-qualified contractor list is a large list, but the list has a lot of trades, not maybe large enough contractors to oversee other people working. So that has kind of reduced that list to a handful of people. Also, because we broke it into two phases, the drawings show both phases. So some of the people are saying it's too small of a project and they're not bidding. But also there's some difficulty because, they have to get work done before the second phase would get accomplished. So we went back to IDOT and we asked them, what do we do now? We're following your rules. And so they came back, gave us this. We can negotiate with a pre-qualified vendor, which we didn't get any, but we can reach out to these, one of the pre-qualified folks and see if they individually and start negotiating with them. So we're just bringing this to your attention that that's our next step that we will be doing. We can't touch anything on the bid package, and no changes because they've approved that package. And so that's what we're going to be doing. So then what we did was we looked at who we were going to negotiate with. The list is smaller. I listed some of the contractors that we kind of had workings with in the past. But we were looking at some that opened up the bids and actually looked at the bids a little bit, but then they got turned off for whatever reason and didn't bid. So we're reaching out to FH Passion. They did some work in the pool recently, and M&J Underground Construction has done some work for the village. So we're doing it. We're going to do phase one only with M&J, get a bid from them, and then we can sit down and make sure the numbers are, negotiate the numbers in a way and to see if the scope is what they're bidding is matching what we had put in our estimate. With FH Passion, they're going to give us a proposal for both phase one and two. So that we could see, we actually went out, just for the first bullet there. We did put out an RFP. We did get some proposals. They were a little higher than what we anticipated. Maybe that confusion is there as well. So we want to get a price from FH Passion to do both phases and see if those other proposals were maybe a little bit inaccurate because of the confusion. So we'll be doing that. I just wanted to give you an update of kind of where we're at with that. We'll be bringing it back to you, give you an update once that negotiation has been finished.
Comments or questions?
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee Leafblad.
Just, I did have a question. Where the salt is now,
Yes.
would that building then, as we go along, once there's a new salt shed, would that portion of the building be used again for storage? Or is it kind of ruined now by the salt that's been in there?
The salt, there's a couple of things wrong in the salt. It actually has, the walls have pushed a little bit, and the salt is oozing through the wall. So we are planning on demoing that area. And in phase two, the northern garage would be expanded because we're pushing all the vehicles from the south garage to the north garage area. So the storage area would be, for vehicles, will be on the north side. South side would be turned into a storage area so we can get out of some of the other locations where Public Works are in some buildings. That would be used as a storage facility with different workshops in that south Old Bay area.
Thank you.
And Joel, it's the steel inside the, go ahead.
Yeah, the steel, it's got a steel structure with the roof, and that's starting to pit and starting to corrode because of salt, which is not good. Steel and salt don't mix well. The new salt building is all wood, which will then last longer in the future. Thank you, George.
Mr. Mayor.
Trustee Lawler?
Joel, are there non-qualified vendors that could do this work?
Not for the salt, because we're following IDOT's. I can't get to them. I have to use their list, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I just wondered if there was a way we could find a workaround to that, because if you got no one that wants to bid on the job,
Correct.
you know, you got to have, someone's got to build it.
Correct.
So why would IDOT be so restrictive? I mean, it's a salt shed at the end of the day. What's so specific about it that it has to be IDOT qualified?
It's not the building, it's just all their work is through a pre-qualified list. And if you think IDOT predominantly does horizontal work. They do have, sometimes they know they build these salt buildings throughout the state. But it's shrunk down tremendously when you have vertical construction.
And Trustee Lawler, the reason IDOT is even involved in this is because we're going to be paying for this $5 million short salt storage building through MFT funds. And MFT has very state statute requirements. And one of those is that we have to follow IDOT's bidding process, which is why we can only use these pre-qualified.
George, just remind me, any other questions, I'm sorry, from the board? What's the cost of the salt barn? Phase
5
one?
million, right?
5 million?
Yeah, currently, yeah, we had 5 million. That's where we'd like to get the number down to when we talk with the contractors.
And the reason we're going through this is because it was decided previously to use these funds, correct?
Correct. So we have MFT available. MFT is a revenue that every municipality gets. It's a per capita distribution. We've used them typically for salt and other road improvement projects. In this situation, we're going to use the MFT that we've generated over the years that we have in reserve to actually do this building.
We can use the MFR, the road funds, motor fuel tax funds for road projects, correct?
Correct.
So this could become, if we don't get anywhere, just a simple financing operation. You use the funds for roads, and then you find other funds to pay for the salt barn.
That parachute is the last ripcord that I would like to pull as a last ditch. But yes, Mayor, that is an option for, like, we could work with Chris to flip-flop funds and go
Yeah,
that
because
way.
I guess where I'm going is if this has such a high aggravation factor and a delay factor, and you'll only get contractors to bid on bigger projects because everything going on in the world, it's just at a certain point, it's like relax the constraint about using motor fuel and just make the financing operation find a different pile of money. Because then if you're not spending other dollars on local road projects, but to use motor fuel, you're just moving things around, legitimately so.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look. We will take a look at that. We'll give it the old last college try on if we can negotiate. But if we don't get to that point, then it will be something that we'll sit down with finance as far as bondings that we have done already for road improvement. Talk to our bond counsel, and then we can try to find a plan B.
Yeah, we have our last third year with our current contractor, so the year would probably be next year's road program if that was something we would flip-flop and figure out.
Yep. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
RFP number 26-009, publishing of Orland Park newsletter approval.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Lawrence.
I move to recommend to the village board to approve and authorize the execution of a professional services agreement between the Village of Orland Park and CPC Printing and Promotions as the lowest cost, qualified, and responsive proposer for RFP number 26-009, publishing of the Orland Park newsletter for a 3-year term, 2026, 27, 28, at a cost of $180,000 per year for a not to exceed amount of $540,000 with the option to extend for 2 additional years, 2029 and 2030, at the village's discretion, at a cost of $180,000 per year for a not to exceed amount of $360,000, plus a contingency of $10,000 for a total not to exceed contract price of $910,000.
Second?
So motion and second. Any comments or questions? George, why did we go out to bid on this? Good best practice?
Yeah, the contract's up. So on something like this, where once the contract is expired, we just put it out to bid again.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from the board? Call the roll, please.
Trustee Lawrence.
Aye.
Trustee Leafblat.
Aye.
Trustee Lawler.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Mayor Dodge.
Aye.
Comprehensive Transportation Initiatives presentation for discussion only.
Okay, Khurshid, we'd like you to discuss in detail every single one of 550 miles of our road grid. Can we do that? You get it done in 10 minutes, my friend?
Not on.
Make it a return trip. Make it 1,000 miles.
11 minutes, Mayor. I'll get it done.
There you go. No, Khurshid, thank you. And I think everybody appreciates the detail that you and staff put in these presentations. So appreciate this. Just let's make sure we focus on the big picture view.
So, Mayor, thank you very much. We are here to talk about comprehensive transportation initiative. Just 2 items quickly, Mayor. Thank you very much for trusting us with so many projects, and same thing goes with the village manager's office. But I also really want to appreciate the department that they work very diligently to get what you will see in the next several slides. My intent is to only talk about the highlights. There's 1 or 2 projects where I will go a little bit into detail, but if you'd like to have any questions on anything else, please let me know. This is the primary purpose of this presentation, is to update you and by extension, update the residents on the several transportation initiatives. But the primary purpose of this whole thing is that we are committed to enhancing traffic safety, mobility in the village. I will not go into a whole lot of detail on these, but the roadway safety is our primary intention on any project, congestion management, but pedestrian and multimodal accommodation. You'll see that most of our projects have a multimodal component in that project. Another thing that you will see in all of our projects, very consistent, that we do best, any new development that comes in we mitigate that traffic impact, as well as we meet traffic study recommendations. One of the examples that I can mention to you here is that most of the coffee shop projects that are coming in, they're coming in with 10, 11, 12 car queues. And we're requiring them to provide that many queues, a space for the cars, so that they can operate and not interrupt the traffic on the roadway.
Khurshid, before you go any farther, I just kind of want to put it in the record. We've been talking since you and I have started working together again, right, with George. We've been talking about it's not just 159th and LaGrange. It's not just getting Wolf Road fixed. It's not just 143rd. We kind of zoomed out to say, let's have a comprehensive approach to doing all these things, because you can't fix, in my opinion, 159th and LaGrange unless you're also addressing 159th and Ravinia and 159th and 94th Avenue. So it quickly became, when's the last time the village has comprehensively thought about the road grid? So the reason we're going down this pathway for the board is to make sure that it's, we have this 24 square mile area that we've got to provide transit for. So let's just look at everything because it all feeds together.
That's exactly the
It's
purpose.
just, anybody who's been down LaGrange lately, if you get flashing lights on a fire truck, an ambulance, or a police department, you'll throw off all the timing and everything bogs down. I think I can see some nodding heads. We've all lived through that. So I just wanted to establish some context about the bigger picture and the grid and what we're trying to tackle with this study.
Thank you very much. Just a quick, this is our village. The couple things why I have brought this up on the screen is we have great system, but we also have some limitations. So these are our major roadways, but only 3 roadway that actually goes north-south and 2 goes ways east-west across our village. Everything else stops somewhere. So that forces the traffic to be on those roads. But then if you look at Harlem is on the far east side, Wilcook is on the far west side, so it really puts pressure on LaGrange Road. That's what the purpose of this slide, I wanted to share that with you. LaGrange Road, on an average, is carrying about 65 to 75,000 cars a day, depending on where you're counting those cars. So it is a destination. That is, I think, what all we have to understand. It's a destination as well as it's a major arterial. And we also have to protect this road as best as we can, otherwise congestion will continue to increase on LaGrange Road. Same thing goes with 159th Street. 159th Street is carrying about 50,000 cars or more, and it is also a destination. But it is somewhat a little bit less, but it has major issues with driveways, and I'll show that to you in a second. Here's an example on 159 between LaGrange Road and 94th, only on north side. It's about 1,200 feet long, and it has 8 driveways. So this is an example where we could look into a program where we could consolidate, and also consolidate driveways and have some cross-access between those properties. Okay, so we're just going to talk about these roadway, how those projects are. This is an example of how lucky we are, but at the same time, how good challenging times we have is, this is the intersection of LaGrange and 159 Southwest Quadrant. I'm not going to read in everything, all of that is there, but those are the, thank you, Mayor. Those are the projects that you see, the Costco, the Amazon, the Pulte's home, the roadway development, and then we still have something in between the Mr. Shermack's property that has not been developed yet. So many of those projects are in progress, in design or in progress, and others might be coming in. So Ravinia Avenue extension, there's somewhat of a repetition on what we have discussed it in the past, but it is primarily a connection to LaGrange Road, a bypass connection to LaGrange Road. And so we do have some right-of-way challenges, but we expect this project will be going into construction in 2026. And I would say maybe 4 to 5 months later, you'll see construction on this project. Ravinia Avenue extension, these are just examples where I'm not going to go into the detail. The last part, we are doing a whole lot of development or improvements, but IDOT is also looking at some improvements for themselves as adding a right turn lane at 161st. That's how far they want to go. Costco traffic improvement. I think this will be a major improvement, what we experience at Costco today. For example, 70% of Costco's parking is on the north side of their building. And through this roundabout, we're adding a separate lane that will feed directly into that, which will help reduce congestion at Ravinia and 159. Again, this project is anticipated in construction in 2026. LaGrange Road and 159th Street, there are some improvements coming up. We'll be closing the median between Lakeview Plaza and Amazon retail development, as well as we will extend the dual lane capacity or dual left turn lanes at LaGrange and 159 westwards to add more capacity. Additionally, some internal improvements are being looked at Lakeview Plaza, and we will come back to you at a later date with those. This is Amazon. You all have seen it. I don't know. It looked perfectly fine on my computer. Something has happened here, so I don't know why that hasn't here. But several improvements are going in this project along LaGrange Road as well as on 159, acceleration, deceleration, closure of driveways, things like that, which will make this development much more workable and not impact the traffic as we may think about it. A new roundabout, we will be going into construction at 153rd and Ravinia next year. Based on every conversation we have with the residents as well as many staff and some police department officers, everybody likes it after they get used to it, and our town is now going to have 2 more roundabouts, one at Costco this year and this one at next year. So we'll have 5 roundabouts in the village by the end of next year. Go ahead.
Khurshid, I think you're right, and I think there's a lot of good reasons for roundabouts. We'll see how well this deals with the traffic stacking of people trying to come off of LaGrange to get into Whole Foods, right? So that'll be an issue. And with the roundabouts, I think Orlanders have gotten used to the roundabouts.
Yes.
It'll be the visitors where there's the challenges. So good luck to us.
You're right. So Costco's roundabout will fix that. We have a lot of out-of-towners there.
And Khurshid, do you think this will solve the problems? Because there's always a stacking issue with in and out of that Whole Foods.
Mayor, I still believe our roundabouts are very generous in design requirements. So you will see that these roundabouts will make the traffic flow much better than what it is today. Okay? 143rd Street. Mayor, I'm going to take a few more minutes on this one because this is coming up and it's a very large project. So I want to educate our residents so that they do not have any confusion. This is a corridor from 355 to 294. That is what the top part shows. The bottom part is where our project is, which is about 3 miles long. So the one in red, which is Southwest Highway to West Avenue, that's the first section, and I'll talk about that in a second. And the pink on the far west, from Wolf Road to Wilcook Road, is also fortunate that we have funding for that, is the middle section that in yellow that we'll talk about again, but that we do not have funding for. So let's look at that. So Southwest Highway to West Avenue, it's over $20 million project. Village has been very fortunate and very supportive of this project. So we have $20 million secured. That's like sitting in the bank, and we just need to go ahead and have a construction and start using that money. The project will be more than $20 million. Overall, it's a 2-lane roadway with a center left turn lane. It will significantly improve the traffic flow at this intersection. People who have experienced this intersection, it is a very confusing, time-consuming, congested intersection. But trust me, 2 years from January of 2027, you will have a very improved experience. Construction is expected to start next year, somewhere around April, May timeline. So this is the project. I know you cannot see it, and I'll zoom in for a second, but very quickly, I just want to show you, this is Southwest Highway. Hopefully you can see the mouse. And this is, right here is West Avenue. But we're going to go about 1 more street and then start tapering it down. So where you see that green, that's how far is the project. It's about 0.35 mile long. So it's an expensive roadway, no question about that. So let me show you what this roadway looks like. This is the zoomed in intersection of Southwest Highway and 143rd Street. You can see Union Avenue is now merged into it where it works much better than what it is today. So we have eliminated one of the traffic light that it has currently. It will be operating with 1 traffic light. It will have dual left turn lanes. So if anybody wants to go into Union Avenue, they'll be in the far left lane. But up further west, there will be signs that will tell you that you need to be in the far left lane to be able to use Union Avenue. Otherwise, both lanes will feed into Southwest Highway. There will be 2 lanes that will go straight east, and then 2 lanes will go straight west. We also have reduced the width of the lanes here down to 10 feet, which is the minimum allowed by the highway agencies. So it will have actually 6 lanes here operating in this location. But immediately west is 5 lanes. So you can see all the pedestrian crossings that are required are in here, bike path cross and crossings as well. Where my mouse is, this is where all of the traffic signals you will see. We just do not have land where we can put a pole, but so this is the location where Southwest Highway and Union Avenue traffic signal heads will be located. But overall, this will be a brand new railroad crossing, as well as this is overall brand new traffic signal and intersection. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Just, Rashid, if you could talk for a moment. I know we've been in conversations with District 135 on working out some of the transit issues. That's settled and or progressing well?
Yes, and I will, just my,
Okay.
one more slide and I'll show you. So overall, I just said everything that I said, but the second last bullet, it's a full service intersection that anybody who's on 143rd, they'll be able to turn in any direction they want. If anybody on Southwest Highway, and also if you are on Union Avenue North approach. The south approach will only allow you to go southbound from 143rd into it, but not allow it to come back out. For anybody to come back out, they will have to circulate internally and then come back out west of this intersection. This is where you were talking about. This drawing is not complete yet, but this is West Avenue on the south side and the school is on the north side. As part of our overall effort, we have secured easement from Forest Preserve that allows the school to build a roadway on the north side, and then they can connect it to their parking and then school buses and all of that, convenient, all of that. We are adjusting this design because we're just fixing some of the design elements. It will have a left turn lane where my mouse is. That will allow the school buses to actually go eastbound and then northbound into the school. The best part is we are designing this intersection to have that leg on the north side, and our traffic signal will be designed and built to accommodate that at our project expense. So that is the part. What we have here, this is, I'm going to mention last piece, is that we are proceeding with the understanding that school will build this roadway at the same time we will build our roadway so that it works together. IDOT does not allow to have signals on speculative projects. They just do not like that. They say, give me a project and then you can have the traffic system. So that's what it is. We have communicated this to the school and hopefully they'll work with our schedule. And so that is, I believe it's a very good service for our residents as well as to the school district. Moving forward, the Far West project, $37 million has been secured for that project. But we are not as far in design, so that project is expected to start in 28, 29 timeline. Same thing, 2 lanes each way with a center left turn lane, 5-lane roadway. It will have a new traffic signal at Creek Crossing, and it will address all of our flooding issues that we generally experience on 143rd. It's not moving. Okay, got it. This is the part that I haven't been able to secure any funding, but just earlier last week, we sent a request for a RAISE grant, $25 million request. We're also working as of right now. By the end of the week, we expect to submit another application for a different grant. Both are federal grants, which will be $40 million, but we learned that they require 20% match, which we will find some other funding source for that, but that will be a $32 million application. Hopefully, we will get this time. One important thing, I know it has come up many, many times, is that at the northeast corner of 143rd and Wolf Road, the oak trees at the hill will be saved. I really want to make sure that go ahead, please.
Say that again.
The 100+ years old trees, oak trees located at the hill northeast of the intersection will be saved.
Thank you.
We are working on a separate pad in that area as well, and we will come back to you with more details in the coming days. A quick summary. Southwest Highway, 3 projects. First project is starting early next year. The second project expected to start early 2029. Third project, I don't know, but as soon as we get the money, we'll come back to you. But I see, you can see we have projected out up to 2031. That is 5 years out, 6 years out, so we have a long way to go. Changing the project to you, John Humphrey Drive and 143rd project. This project is under construction as we speak now. Very valuable project. It's going to replace the intersection with much bigger, much modern intersection, as well as it will replace the land bridge. And let me tell you what a land bridge is. A land bridge is basically a road built on poor soil. From the surface, it looks like to a roadway, but technically it is a bridge because it has deep pile foundations. In some cases, if it's built on abutments, then it's called a bridge. But in our case, which I wanted to share you this, we are going this time with a pile-supported embankment. We're going to have 600 piles in that area where we have this settlement problem. We'll take that old styrofoam out, and then we're going to put 600 piles, build a cap on it, and build a road on top of that, which we believe will be a better scenario for this condition where settlement is still a concern. As you all know, our town is known for peat moss. This area has 15-foot deep peat, which is compressible, continue to depress. But that's what the solution is. But if you have any other question on Lane Bridge or embankment, please let me know. I'll be happy to spend more time on it. 143rd. So we're not done yet. We noticed a settlement east of John Humphrey Drive between Oakwood Court and Vintage Court. We believe it is a similar problem that what we have at John Humphrey Drive and 143rd. Soil appears to be bad. Curb is not visible anymore. We will be starting a phase 1 design either this year or next year, and then we'll be asking for that fund, but then we'll be chasing phase 2, phase 3, and construction fund. I just wanted to quickly show you where that is. These are the two, Oakwood and Vintage. This is the, not a pond, it is a water body, it's a body of water. Right here is where the pavement is settling, and hopefully you can see the guardrail is not straight. And here's a close-up, maybe you can see it. The curb is disappeared. It has settled probably 8 to 10 inches already. So we will come back to you in some time. And unofficially, Mayor, I have learned that this place might also have styrofoam.
Say that again, Khurshid, please. Just want to make sure that you clearly enunciate for the record, because since we record these things, this is for all of humanity, Khurshid. Make sure you're clear.
My initial investigation shows that this location may also have, this pavement is supported by styrofoam, which has not worked at John Humphrey, and I don't think it would be working here as well.
And back to the wooden piles, it's sort of a construction method somebody borrowed from the city of Venice, Italy, correct?
So yes, those are about 60 to 80 feet deep, and we spread them out. So we'll come back to you in a few years, hopefully with funding as well.
Khurshid, just one of the reasons why I want to be so careful going forward with jurisdictional transfer is this. Because I remember seeing people walking with what looked like giant blocks of styrofoam when they were building 143rd the first time before we got jurisdictional transfer. So it's a pretty big issue. It's important to get roads done, but we just need to be pretty mindful about how these things get built, because I don't know if I'm shocked by what you're saying.
I was going to say, Mayor, the JT that you're talking about between Woolcook and Wolf Road, the good part is we control the design on that piece. We get the money from IDOT, but we control the design, so the specs and criteria will be established by us.
That's good news.
And we will not use styrofoam.
Did you want to be recognized, Joe?
Is it time to ask a question?
No, we can just, we're still committee of the whole. We'll get on to the meeting, but go ahead, but just keep it free form.
Just very quickly, Khurshid, what you're describing, I believe, was done at 143rd Avenue near 159th Street at the portion that would kind of flood in and become like a lake in winter and springtime. If I understand correctly, it took a while to do it because they deconstructed it, put piles down, let them settle, and then built the street over it.
That's exactly what it will be. And you will see that in the next 6 months, you will exactly see that. And we'll have some videos as well.
And how long does it take for the pilings to settle into the peat before we could build on it?
So in this case, it wouldn't settle because we push the pile below the peat. So the compression that peat does will pass through that, several feet below that.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Katsinas?
I had a question on the same thing because there are houses in that neighborhood that are built on pylons, and they too use the timber. So I'm wondering, why wouldn't you use a caisson as opposed to a timber on a road? Is it a cost factor?
There is definitely a cost factor, but also the industry shows that once you have pressure-treated wood pressed into the soil, it does not deteriorate. Once it's exposed to air, that's when it deteriorates. So it's a cost factor, but also the site condition that we have here is what the result was that the analysis was that timber piles were a better option than anything else.
Okay, and those have been used not only just in that subdivision, but other subdivisions in Orland, because to your point, you know, we have a lot of peat in the area.
True.
And we've have homes settle after a number of years as well. You know, this just because of, it could be a little vein of peat.
Yeah, the only thing I will tell the residents that they should get a good soil report before they invest in it.
Yes, I agree with that. Thank you, Krishi.
Right.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep, Trustee Long?
Well, I'll just say my previous house, I did buy a piece of land and didn't get a good soil test. So yes, I had to put caissons 37 feet down, 50 of them. So it was definitely sunk cost that wasn't recuperated. But anyways, while we're talking about traffic, I was wondering, Kershid, I'm sure you guys know about this, something I noticed the last 2 weekends driving north on LaGrange Road on the weekends. We'll just say a lot of people like to go to Trader Joe's. And I noticed that light where you turn in to get into the parking lot for Trader Joe's, the turn signal is not long enough, and you get cars backing all the way up out of the turn lane. And it's creating I almost saw a couple of accidents when I was stuck in it myself. People trying to get out of that lane to go to the middle lane, but then you've got someone who's going a little bit faster. They're not looking. But is that something that you guys have looked at, or it's on your radar, or something we could do to alter the timing of that light on the weekends?
So thank you, Trustee Lauder. I have exact solution for you. So the answer is yes. Give me 2 more slides and I'll show you.
Flying cars. He's a mind reader.
Right here. So 151st Street and Regent Drive, you will hopefully, it is on your agenda for this board meeting to approve the design contract. Hopefully that will pass, and then we will be getting into design, and in about 6 months to 8 months, you will see brand new traffic signal at that location. That traffic signal is paid by the Dick House of Sport TIF. That's a good part of that. Not traffic related, but also the underground detention that we will be designing and hopefully building at the Sears property will also come out of that TIF as well. We also are starting another traffic signal replacement, which is at 94th and Sunrise, just north of 159 and 94th. That is also an old traffic signal, and we'll be seeking some grant funding for that project. But the one at 151st and Regent will be paid immediately by the TIF money. 54th and 94th, we're working on this for some time, maybe about over a year or so. This is our second most dangerous intersection in our village. We're looking at quite a bit of details. We're in phase 1. We'll be starting in phase 2 soon, later this year, and then probably a year or 2 more. And then we will be coming back with some construction needs or so. We have secured about $150,000 from Invest and Cook, but we are seeking more money for construction. It is expected that it might be a $3 million type project, but I will know more about it. But that will definitely be a much bigger intersection once we will add different lanes to it. The complication on that one is that that is a multi-jurisdictional intersection. IDOT owns east and west, which is 159. Cook County owns the south leg, and Village of Orland Park owns the north leg. So I appreciate your smiles, but we're working through it. Multi-use pad, these projects are in progress. You will start seeing them in reality in the next year and then going into the future. 167th Street from 104 to Steeplechase, 82nd Avenue from 145th Place to Arrowhead, and McGinnis Loop. These are all in, they're all in phase 2. So we'll be wrapping them up as we progress with our schedule.
And Khursheed, maybe what, just as a reminder, what is phase 1, phase 2? You've mentioned that a couple times.
Okay, so phase 1 is the preliminary engineering, which is proof of concept. That's how IDOT works, or federal government works as well. The first phase 1 is preliminary engineering, is to make sure that the project is doable, everything that needed for the project is there, all of those details. So, and it also has a very important element, which is public hearing. Not public meeting, but public hearing. So it requires that public hearing, which is get documented, and we have to respond to every comment that has been made about the project. If we agree with it, then we accommodate that. If we don't agree with it, then we have to give a justification why it is not. And that gets documented, it goes to IDOT, then it goes to FHWA. So that's that process. Once we get the phase 1 approved, then we start the phase 2 design, which is the final design, which is actually getting the project design that will have the construction document, the drawings and the specification that goes to the contractor that puts the bid on it. So that's phase 2. Phase 3 is construction engineering, which is construction observation services, making sure we hire a qualified consulting firm that observes during construction. So that's the phase 3 part. And then construction, which is a separate fund of money for actually paying for the construction. So hopefully that clarifies that. Here's some more projects. As you have been very generous with us, that when we ask for money, you have approved it. So Lake Sedgwick, we're going to complete the loop. That is a missing part. Let me jump to the next slide so you can see what I'm talking about. This is Lake Sedgwick. If you look at this large man-made lake, it has a pad on all 3 sides except for the south side. And the intent is that we want to complete this pad through this project. It will be a very attractive but also challenging, because we have Marley Creek going through here and we have the lake. So it will be a combination of boardwalk. And then we also have one private resident or property owner in this area that we would have to work with. But that's the intent. So coming back to this, we're also looking at just the picture that I showed you. There are some boardwalks that are in bad shape. We're going to look at, see if we can repair those. A couple of minutes ago, I mentioned to you that we're looking at a new pad at the northeast corner of Wolf Road and 143rd. We'll also be doing a study like where we have multi-use pad gaps, like low-hanging fruit. Are there short distance gaps that we can just construct it and make it a bigger loop or a bigger network? And then we'll also be now looking at the future multi-use pad, kind of like a master plan to see where else we might need some more pads. Again, that's just a study. But that will be coming up in the 2026 as well. This is what you were talking about. So Trustee Laura, we will be initiating a traffic study village-wide to understand where we have problems and how we can solve it. It may not be a solution for 1 year or 2 year, it may be a 10-year long solution that we will implement over phases. Part of that, we will be studying every traffic signal, whether we own it, county owns it, or the DOT owns it. We will take a look at that, look at their traffic signal timing plan, and how they are like traffic progression, and then adjust that working with IDOT and Cook County. One of the things we have is our Vision Zero. We want to eliminate all fatalities in the village at any traffic location. That's our objective, and we'll work on it. One more thing that you'll see, that we'll be focusing on this area from 151st to 161st, and from 108 to, I forgot, it's about 88. That area we're gonna pay some special attention to see what kind of traffic problems we may have now. We'll also be initiating a neighborhood traffic and safety study, which is basically we're gonna focus various neighborhoods and see what kind of problems they may have and how I can solve them. One of the intention would be a consistent and effective traffic control devices following the MUTCD, Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices guidelines, which is a federal document. We also have a parking and traffic advisory committee. Anything that happens in the village in relations to traffic signs or speeds, we handle it here. It is engineering, public works, and police department. This is almost my last study. This is an exciting time to be here at the village. In the next 5 or so years, we are projecting that we will be spending about $120 million on roadway projects. Of that, $88 million will be coming in grants. That does not include the $40 million that I mentioned that we need for Wolf Road and West Avenue. Here is a brief breakdown of various projects. I'm just going to give you a few seconds to take a look at it if you have any questions. And that's it.
Krishit, could you just back up just a couple of pages to the overall traffic study? Keep going. There, right there. I personally think that there's not a whole lot of physical improvements we're going to be recommending or doing to 159th and LaGrange. To me, it's the supporting roads, the feeder routes, and traffic signalization and access. Like you said, I think you showed that diagram where that little patch there, there's what, 8 curb cuts in the space of a couple of blocks. I mean, it contributes to the congestion. So I just want to put it on the floor for the full board. This is a comprehensive village-wide study.
Yes.
So I think we've needed to do this for a while. Let's see how far we can get with IDOT adjusting timings up and down LaGrange on some of the other roads. And then I think also, we've all lived this. There's not a whole lot of great north-south or east-west access for a town like Orland Park. I don't know if there's too many towns of our size or scale that have the similar limitation where, if I'm not mistaken, it's 3 miles between Harlem and LaGrange.
Correct.
So there's a 3-mile stretch where the only ways to get truly north or south are to go to Harlem or to go to LaGrange. So you're gonna put pressure on these main arterials. Even Will Cook or Wolf don't go that far. So it's an issue in the southwest suburbs, and I think other suburbs, suffer from the same problem, which is the north-south and true east-west access is not here.
That's true.
I don't know if
Mayor,
there's any other
go ahead, please. I just wanted to add, Mayor, one more. Just to give you a context, Mayor, our village gets 42 million people every year that drive in and then they drive out.
A fair bit of it's going to be through traffic up and down Harlem or LaGrange. Because, you can, if you're up and down LaGrange, once you get to over the highway where it compresses down to 2 lanes, just do that at rush hour. It's not a very pleasant experience. Any other comments or questions from the board about what Krishit and his department and the village is going to be doing over the next couple of years? Cool. Thank you, Krishit.
Non-scheduled citizens and visitors for public comment on items relevant to village business.
Mr. DeYoung, do you want to say anything? Good to see you, Dad.
Motion for adjournment?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Milani.
move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion, do we need a roll call?
Yes.
Mike? All right, call the roll, please.
Trustee Milani?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Lawrence?
Aye.
Trustee Lawler?
Aye.
Trustee Leafblat?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Mayor Dodge.
Aye.
It is now 8:30.
I think, we'll take a couple minutes.